Hey everybody, I'm Josh Jackson from WPSculptor.com. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a custom website with WordPress from start to finish. I'm not going to skip any steps because I want absolute beginners to be able to easily follow along. I'm also going to show you how to get your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent. Please feel free to leave your questions and comments in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer those. Thanks. The things I'm going to cover in this step-by-step tutorial include setting up website hosting and a domain name with HostGator, installing WordPress, switching to a different WordPress theme, creating pages and using the visual editor, finding free high-quality stock photos, using a free online photo editor called Pixlr to make a custom header image and to also resize images, installing a photo gallery and a contact form plugin, adding and taking away widgets to and from the sidebar, setting up a front page layout, finding and using free icons, and basic WordPress settings, and more. You're also going to learn about finding and using free texture backgrounds for your website, which will make it look more professional. Okay, so this is the website that I'm going to walk you through step by step and show you exactly how to create this exact same website. You're going to learn where to find custom textured backgrounds like this that you can use on your website for free. You're also going to learn about a stock photography website that has thousands and thousands of free stock photos, professional stock photos that you can use also for free. And we're going to learn about a free photo editing online application called Pixlr that will do lots of things, but I'm going to show you how to use it to create a custom header image with this text here. And we're going to learn how to find free icons like these two. And we're going to learn about widget areas. These are actually widget areas. And then you're just going to learn how to create regular pages with images. You're going to be able to upload images and resize them. You're going to be able to embed YouTube videos onto your website and play them on your website just like this. We're going to learn about installing a contact form plugin. And when people fill out this contact form and submit it, it sends a copy of this form to the email address you provide, which is pretty cool. And you're going to learn about a photo gallery plugin. And I really like this because you can click on any of these images and it opens up in a bigger window, and you can scroll through all the images in the photo gallery. And I'm going to show you where to find all of these images and how to upload them to your WordPress site and install them. And just click to close that. You're going to learn how to set up a custom sidebar there, and these are also widget areas. I've got a custom widget there, and then I've got a custom menu here and a custom search box that we put in. And I'm going to walk you through all of these steps without skipping anything so that it'll be easy to follow. The first thing we're going to do is purchase a domain name and hosting, and for that we're going to use HostGator.com. So go ahead and go to HostGator.com and click on View Web Hosting Plans. Okay, now you have 3 different options here. You have the Hatchling plan, which only allows for 1 domain. It's a little bit cheaper. And then you have the Baby plan, which is the same as the Hatchling plan, except for you can have unlimited domains, which is great for people that would like to have or already have multiple websites because it's the same price no matter how many websites you have on the account. And then there's a business plan, which has a couple of more options, private security feature and a toll-free number feature available that most people probably don't need. So we're going to select the Baby plan, and I'm actually going to show you how to get more than this with a special coupon code. So hit order now, and then you're going to type in a domain name. And that domain name has to be something that is not already taken by someone else. So for example, you couldn't use Amazon.com or eBay.com, obviously, because they're already owned. So you want to select something that's unique and not already taken. It may take a couple of tries, but right now I'm going to use quickWebsiteCreations.com. And it's already going to put that .com in for me because we have that selected. You could also do .net, .org, or .us, but the most common thing to do is .com. And just a disclaimer, my website that I'm actually going to use is quickWebsiteCreation.com, singular, but since it's already taken, and for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm adding an S on the end to demonstrate this. Okay, so now this coupon code gets you 20% off. I like to pay by the month, so for me the best option would be to have the 1 cent for the first month, and the code for that is WP Sculptor 1 cent, and that's going to give you your first month for 1 cent for the hosting. Now you could use another coupon code, which is WP Sculptor 25, and this will give you 25% off of your entire hosting order. And I recommend this for people that are going to pay for multiple months at once, and you can actually save a little bit more than with the other code. But if you're paying by the month, use WP Sculptor 1 cent, and that's also going to give me a credit for recommending HostGator to you, and I really appreciate that, and that helps me to continue doing these videos. And yeah, so thanks. After you type that in, you're going to click on Continue to Step 2. Make sure that the package type is correct, and we did want the baby plan, so that's right. Now we just want to pay for 1 month at a time, and we'll start out with just the 1 cent for the first month. So select the 1 month cycle. You need to select a username and a security PIN, and then enter your billing information. And it's also really important to enter a working email, because HostGator is going to send you an email with some important information for your account to the email address you provide. And you can also pay with PayPal. And then we want to, I recommend just going ahead and unchecking these. You can always add these later. It's just an extra expense, and you don't necessarily need that when you're getting started. And then scroll down, and you do get the free support. You get instant activation. You have 45 days to decide if you want to keep this or not. And your first month is going to be 1 cent. The domain is going to be $15, and that's going to cover a year's worth of registration for the domain. You won't have to worry about that. And after your first month for 1 cent, it's going to be $9.95 a month. So then you just need to check that you have read and agree to the terms and conditions and hit Create Account. In a couple of minutes, you should get an email from HostGator with some important information. Go ahead and check the same email that you provided and open up the email. Okay, now to install WordPress, we're going to have to access our control panel. HostGator has given us a link right here. Click that, and it's going to open up in a separate tab. Now you're going to go back in and grab your username, copy that, paste it in here. Then we're going to grab the password that they gave us. Just copy that and paste it in. Then hit Login. Okay. Now we are in our cPanel. Go ahead and close out of that message there, and we're going to scroll all the way down to Software and Services, and we're going to click on Quick Install. Okay, now that we're in Quick Install, we're going to go to the left and click on WordPress and click Continue. Now we just need to fill out a little bit of information. Leave this spot blank, and that's going to install this WordPress directory right on whatever URL you set up. So in other words, for me, quickwebsitecreation.com is my domain name. So when you type in quickwebsitecreation.com, it automatically takes you to the WordPress directory that we're going to install now. So you're going to want to leave this blank, and check that, and put in your email address. It's very important to get that correct, because WordPress is going to send you some information. The blog title can be whatever you want it to be. We can change that later. And the admin user, we're going to give yourself a username, your first, your last name. And then we're going to click Install Now. Okay. Now it's going to take a few hours, up to a few hours, to actually be able to access your website through the domain name that you set up. But for now, we're going to want to go ahead and save this information here, the username and the password. Go ahead and write that down. It is case sensitive, the password and the username. So I would copy and paste those into a Word document or a notebook document so that we can log into this website. And so yeah, we're just going to wait a couple of hours and we'll check back. You can either click on this link or you can go to your domain name, quickwebsitecreation.com/wp-admin, which is the easy way to access that as well if you're not on the screen. So we're going to give it a couple of hours and we'll check back here in a minute. After a couple of hours, your website should now be up and running, and check this by typing in the URL, quickwebsitecreation.com. And this is what a fresh WordPress installation looks like. Very basic. You have the title that you selected earlier, and you have a home and a sample page. And that is it. Very basic. The sample page looks like that. The pictures rotate as you change pages. That's just by default. That's what this particular theme does. Obviously, we're going to want to change this quite a bit and add our own content. So to do that, you have to access what's called the back end of your site, which is where you make all the changes to the content and your site's appearance. All the functionality that you add is added in the back end. So we're going to log into the back end by going to whatever your domain name is, quickwebsitecreation.com/WP-admin. And that's in my case. So if yours is .net, it would be whatever your domain is, .net/WP-admin. Now you're going to grab the username and password that you saved earlier. Just copy and paste those in. And log in. Okay, now we're in the back end of the site, and this first page is called the dashboard. It's kind of a starting point. Now the very first thing I like to do is go ahead and change our password so we don't have to remember that long string of random letters. And to do that, we're just going to go to users real quick, click all users, and you'll see the username you selected, the one we just logged in with. That's the only user created as of now. So we're going to click on edit. All right, scroll down and let's type in a new password. Type it in again, and it will automatically check for you to make sure that you're typing it in correctly. And we're going to update profile. Okay, great. Now the second thing we're going to take care of is we're going to go ahead and activate the 2012 WordPress theme, because that's the one I'm going to show you how to customize. And to do that, we're going to go to Appearance, Themes. That was Appearance and then Themes. It will also have a drop-down menu there to the side if you haven't clicked on Appearance yet. Themes, and we're going to scroll down, and when you installed WordPress, it came with two themes, the 2011 and the 2012, and we're going to activate the 2012 because this is the one, as you can see, the one that's activated now is the 2011, and we're going to change that by going down under 2012 and hit activate. Okay, now it says the new theme is activated, and you can click this link here and that will take you to your site. And this is what the 2012 theme looks like right out of the box. still has our title there. It's got the same 2 pages that have already been created by default. The sidebar here looks the same. And obviously we don't have those pictures. And this gray bar at the top is going to be present when you visit your website and you're logged in. To get rid of this, we would just go here and log out, and this bar would go away. But this is nice to have when you're logged in because you can easily get back to your dashboard by clicking over here and hit dashboard. Alright, the very first thing I'm going to introduce as far as adding content is the home page that we're going to create. So to do this, we're going to go to Pages, let's add new page actually. Pages, add new. And I've already got this content typed out so that we don't have to watch me do that. Scroll down a little bit here. Okay. And I'm going to call this page, I'm going to copy that. The title of this page is going to say this: Welcome to the Urban Decay Architecture mock website. And I'm just going to use Urban Decay Architecture because there's a photo website that I really like, and they have a photo gallery called Urban Decay under the architecture category, and I think it's really cool, and it's simple to just pick that category and make a website with those images, since I'm just showing you how to use the WordPress features. So we're going to use that, and then I'm going to copy go back. This is going to be the paragraph. I'm just going to paste that in there. Paste. Okay. Now I want to point out here, this is called the visual editor. And the visual editor works a lot like something like Microsoft Word. You can highlight certain words and change colors. And the text editor is actually going to write out HTML code that for the content that you put in with the visual editor. And I'll show you, we will learn how to use the text editor, or it's also called the HTML editor, when we embed a YouTube video later on. But for now, we're just going to use the visual editor. And this little box right here is called the kitchen sink. Click that and you're going to get options for formatting text. Okay, now I'm going to make a list. I want things to have a bullet next to them, and to do that, let's just copy our first list item and paste it in there. Now I'm going to select it, and I'm going to click this button right there, and that's going to make it a list. It's got a bullet point there. Now if I wanted it to be numbered, then I could hit that. But we're just going to do it. This is an unordered list. It's unnumbered. This is a numbered list. So we're going to do an unordered list, and then I'm going to do my second one. Paste it in there. Do the third one. Sometimes you have to click and then enter. If it doesn't work right, go back, backspace, enter to get it to show up on the right line. Copy that, paste it in, enter. Okay. And now, click on the text just to let me demonstrate. You can see these tags right here. these are HTML tags. You have an unordered list, opening tag. Don't worry about what these mean. I'm just showing you that it writes the code for you. Then you have each list item listed there. And we're going to hit publish. Okay, now click view page, and it's going to take us to that page on your site, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to show you how to adjust this menu, because we don't want the sample page or the home page, and we don't want this to read on the menu as welcome to the Urban Decay Architecture mock website. We want that to be here. So I'm going to show you how to change what this says in the menu, and we're going to make this say home. So go back to your dashboard, and the menu is located under Appearance, Menus. Click on that, and we're going to create a menu, and we're going to call this Top Navigation. Hit Create Menu. Okay, and now we have to add the page that we want to that menu, which is right there. Welcome to the Urban Decay Architecture mock website. Check that box, add to menu, and now we're going to, under primary menu, select that, and now top navigation, because that's what we call this menu. It's the only one available because it's the only one we've created. Select that, save there, and save menu there. Now we're going to go back to our website and take a look now. And another way to access that is just to click this when the view page is not available. Just click there. Okay, now you can see that the other two pages are gone, and we have our one page, the only thing we've added to the menu right there. Now let's change it, and let's have it say home. Let's just go backspace, and make sure that you have your top navigation menu selected, the one we just created, whatever you called yours. Click this little down arrow next to the page, and the navigation label is what we're going to change. And the only place this is going to change what this says is in the navigation menu at the top. And let's just call this home. And then we're going to save menu. And now take a look at the website, and now it says home. And when you click that, it brings you to what's going to be our home page. Now, when you click on the title of your website up here at the top, it takes you to what's technically the home page, which is when you just type in the domain name, quickwebsitecreation.com, it's going to take you here. We want it to take us to this page here. So let me show you how to do that. Go back to your dashboard, and we're going to go to Settings, and we're going to go to Reading. Now, WordPress is traditionally set up as a blogging type website, so the homepage is going to show the latest blog posts. That's not going to be what this tutorial is about. We're just going to make a website with it, not a blog website. I'll have that in later videos, but for now, let's go ahead and change the homepage, and it's going to say Front Page Displays. Click a static page, and now this is where we select the Welcome to the Urban Decay Architecture mock website page. And since we're not going to have a blog on this mock website, we're going to leave Posts page blank. Now click Save Changes, and now take a look at the website, and this is our home page right there. Now the second thing we're going to do is delete the blog post that comes pre-installed. You're going to go to Posts, All Posts, Check It. This is the only one we've got, Check It, and Trash. You can actually access this deleted post because it's in the trash, but it right there, but we won't worry about that. Now let's delete the page that came pre-installed. Go to All Pages, And now you can see the page we created as our home page right there, and we want to delete this sample page. The sample page is what came pre-installed with this text right here. This is an example page. So to go delete that, go back to all pages, check it, and trash it. You can also access this in the trash as well if you need to. Alright, and now we are ready to start changing the appearance of our site. The first thing we're going to do is change our site's background. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we currently have to work with. With the 2012 theme, you start out with this just plain solid gray color background. And we're going to change this to a dark texture. And I really like to use textures because they add a nice professional and modern feel, and it's really easy to do. There's a great website called subtlepatterns.com. And he's got hundreds of different patterns that you can use for free on your website. And it's great, a great tool that I really love to use. So the one we're going to use, you can browse through obviously on the home page. It just shows you the most recent, but you can go scroll down to the bottom and you can choose different tags with different styles. And the one we're going to use is actually a dark pattern. And I believe it's on page 8. Give a second to load here. All right. And it is called Black Paper. And you can highlight over it and click preview, and it'll actually change, and that's what our background is going to look like. So to download this, go ahead and go to download, right click, and save link as. Just pick your folder. We're going to use quick website creation folder. And it's going to save it as a zip file. And one thing I want to show you, what's really cool about these backgrounds on subtlepatterns.com is that these are actually repeatable patterns, which means that the image is actually pretty small, but it's going to repeat horizontally this way across the screen, and it's going to repeat itself vertically, and it's going to look like one big image, but the pattern repeats smoothly so that it doesn't look funny or anything like that. And just to show you what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and open that zip file. Unzip it and then open it up. And this is actually what the whole image looks like. That is the size of the entire image, and we're gonna set it to repeat horizontally across the screen and vertically across the screen, and it's gonna be a nice smooth textured background there. So let's go back to our dashboard, and you're going to go to Appearance and Background, and we're going to select an image. So what you're going to do is go to Browse and find the image on your computer. We saved it to the desktop in the Quick Website Creation folder, so it's going to be in there. And we unzipped it, so it's going to be in this folder. And they give you one that's larger. We're going to use the normal sized one. Just click on it. Now we hit upload, and that's going to upload it to our website. And now we have several different options for displaying it. The position, we're just going to use left by default. That's fine. Now, what I was talking about earlier, where this will repeat horizontally and vertically, that's where we deal with repeat right here. You can set it to not repeat, and it would just be that however big the image is, it would just be in the upper right or upper left corner of the screen, since we set it to left, and it would just sit there. But we want it to repeat all the way across the screen, up and down. So we're going to tile it. And what this is going to do is it's going to repeat it horizontally and vertically across the screen. And you obviously have the option to just do it horizontally or just do it vertically, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. But what we want to do is tile it both directions. And the attachment, just leave that to scroll, and I'll show you what that means. And then we're going to save changes. All right, go back up and let's take a look at our website. Now we have our background going all the way across and all the way up and down. And when you scroll down the screen, this is what scroll means. That means the background is going to scroll with the rest of the screen. Okay, now let's go back and let's change that to fixed and save changes. Go back to your website. Now when you scroll, the background is going to stay fixed on the page. It has a different sort of effect. So it's all a matter of preference there. And just to demonstrate, if we only tiled it horizontally, it would do that. It would go left to right. And if we only tiled it vertically, it would go up and down. Just like that. So obviously we want to go back and do both. Okay, and now we have our background, and we're going to leave it fixed. Now we're going to do the header image, and go back to our dashboard. And I just want to show you where this is. Go to Appearance and click on Header. Okay, now by default we don't have anything at all in the header image, but we can certainly add one. And I just want you to notice that the suggested width, it says here, is 960 pixels, which is the width is going across the screen this way, 960 pixels, and I'll show you how big that actually is here in a minute. And then the suggested height is 250 pixels. So we'll use that and we'll make a header image that is that size, 960 by 250. I really like to use a free stock photography website called stockexchange.com. And that is sxc.hu. This is a great website. You do have to register, not a big deal though. All you do is sign up here and you'll need to fill out this information. And you can select whether or not you want to receive the newsletter and promotional offers, put in your personal information, and agree to the terms and conditions. And make sure you use a valid email address because they're going to send you an email and you need to click on that email to activate your account. But that only takes a minute or two, and once you activate your account, you'll be able to log in and download all the images on Stock Exchange. And it's great because they allow you to use the images for free or for commercial and non-commercial projects. Some of them do require you to notify the author of the image, but a lot of them you don't even have to do that. You can just use them, and I'll show you what the terms of service actually are on each individual image here in a minute. But for the header image, we're going to use an image under the category Urban Decay, and I believe it's on page 8. No, actually, I believe it's on page 1. Bottom. No. Okay. That's the one I want to use. Go ahead and click on that. And if I click to open that, it's going to ask me to log in. So go ahead and log in with the username and password that you selected. Okay, and now I just want to show you the availability, the standard restrictions apply. Some of these will say the standard restrictions apply, and then also the author of the image must be notified. This one doesn't require you to notify the author. It's not a big deal if it does. Just comply with what it says. But the standard restrictions are as follows. You may use the image in digital formats on websites, multimedia presentations, all that. And you can read this for yourself. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to exit out of that, and to download the image, you're just going to click on it, and it's going to download it. And we're actually going to save it. We're just going to right click on it and save it as a JPEG. May take a minute or two because these are really high quality images, and so because of that, they're actually pretty large file sizes. And I'm going to show you how to use a free photo editor to edit and cut this image, crop this image, and trim it down. So, alright, it's done. So we're going to right click on it, save image as, and we're going to call this header underscore original .jpg. And we're going to save it on our desktop in our quick website creation folder. Save. Okay. Now we're going to use a free photo editing software called Pixlr. Go ahead and open a new tab, and we can, for now, we can close out of that. Close out of that. And we're going to go to Pixlr.com. It's Pixlr.com. There's no E. Pixlr is a wonderful photo editing software that's actually free to use, and it functions quite a bit like Photoshop. And I'm going to show you how to do some basic editing. So what you're going to do is go to Pixlr.com and then click on the Pixlr editor there. And it's going to give you the option to create a new image or open an image from computer or some of these other options. We're going to open the image that we just downloaded from Stock Exchange, and we're going to click on our desktop because that's where we have the image saved. And there it is. Alright, there we have the image that we downloaded, and I want you to notice that this image is actually being shown at 59%. If we look at this image at 100%, it is this big. You have to scroll to see the whole thing because it's so large. And we don't want it to be that big. Go back to what I showed you earlier. We want it to be 960 pixels by 250 pixels. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our crop tool, which is actually right here, and we're going to change the constraint to an output size because we're going to specify the actual size that we want, and we want it to be 960 in width, 960 pixels, and 250 pixels in height. And we're going to go back, and I want to be able to see the entire image on this one little section of the screen. So we're going to change this back to 59 the way it was, just so we can see the entire thing. And if you click right here and drag, you can see that you're looking at the entire image. And to crop, we're just going to click. Make sure this tool is selected. That's the crop tool in the upper left. Make sure that your output size is selected. And then you're going to click right here out of the screen, and it's going to automatically start right in the screen, and then you can just drag it over. And this is going to make the area that we selected 960 by 250. And then you can click and drag down. We're going to move it to about right there. Get it to where you want it. You can move it up and down. And when you push enter, it's going to resize this image, and it's going to cut it out and crop it out, and it's going to be 960 by 250. So hit enter, and there you have it. Now we're looking at it at 59%, but if we want to look at it at 100%, the way it's actually going to appear on our website, change that back to 100, and you may have to scroll over just a little bit, and that is the full-sized image that we're going to work with. But since I have a pretty small screen, we're going to go back to, say, 60%. No, let's say 90%. and that's what we're going to work with. Okay, now to add our text, you're going to click on the text tool right there. And I want you to notice that when I click on the text tool, I haven't done that yet. Once I click on the text tool, it's going to add a new text layer over here on the right. So click text. And it's not going to do it yet until we actually add the text. But you're just going to click anywhere on the screen. It doesn't matter for now. Click anywhere, and then you're going to add, we're just going to say urban decay. Okay, now we have a new text layer right there. And that's going to be important here in a minute. But you're going to go, for now, just select the color, and you can change the color to whatever you want. I'm just going to use straight white, so I'm going to click and drag it up to white. Now if I wanted green, for example, I could move this up here to green, but we're just going to use white, and it doesn't matter what we have it on for white because it's going to be in the upper part of that. Okay, and the font I want to use, we're going to use this one here, and we're going to change the size to 36, and we're going to hit OK. Alright, now that's all we're going to do to that for now. Now we're going to add in architecture. We're going to make that big. So you're going to make sure the text tool is still selected, which it should be, right after Urban Decay. And then you're going to click wherever you want on the screen. And that's going to add an additional text layer, as long as you're not clicking directly on the Urban Decay. And we're going to type in architecture. And then we're going to do the same thing. You can click here and drag, click, hold, and drag to move that up. Color, and we're going to change that to white. Hit OK. And this one, I want it to actually be a text size of 90 so that it goes across the entire screen. Click OK. Okay, now we want to move the architecture text layer here. We want to move it all the way flush to the bottom and to the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab, right now we have the text tool selected, we're going to grab the move tool, click on that, and then make sure the architectures layer is selected, and click on the architecture layer, click and hold, and then move it down, and we're going to get it flush. Now you can let go, and as long as the layer is selected here, and as long as the tool is selected, the move tool is selected here, we can use the arrow keys on our keyboard and get this fine-tuned the way we want it. So we're just going to go up and down. We're going to go down. It's flush there, and then we're going to go over and have it flush there, just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing with the Urban Decay, and we're going to position it right on top of the architecture. So we're going to select the Urban Decay layer, and make sure your move tool is still selected, and we're going to just click and drag, click, hold, and drag, and we're going to put it right on top there. Now we're going to use the keypad to fine tune it, and we're just going to say right there is good. Now I'm going to show you a neat effect, and we're just going to add a black shadow to both of our text layers. We'll start with Urban Decay. What you're going to do is make sure the Urban Decay is selected, so that you're working with the Urban Decay text, and you're going to click this box right here. If you hover over it and leave the mouse, it's going to say Layer Styles. Click on that, and then move this out of the way so you can see what's going on. And we're going to add what's called a drop shadow. Check that box, and you can click on it, and you can see here it's given you opacity, which opacity is how much is it actually showing, and this is 75%. It's out of 100, and the color is black, and the distance is 10. Now when I drag this distance over, you can kind of see the picture's dark, but you can see it move over. That's how far away it's going, and you can change the angle here, of course, like that, but we're going to leave it at -135. And we're going to do a distance of just 3. Opacity 75. If we had this all the way to 0, it wouldn't show anything. If we had it at 100, it would show quite a bit, and 75 is a pretty good place to be. And hit OK. Now we're going to do the same thing to the architecture layer. So click on the architecture layer right there. And we're going to click on the layer styles button for that particular layer. And we're going to do the same thing. Check drop shadow and click on drop shadow. So we get these options. And we're going to do 75 opacity, and we're just going to do 5. You can see it gets a little smaller there with the drop shadow. And we're going to leave that black and leave that at negative 135 angle. Hit OK. And now we have our header image. So what we need to do is save this as a JPEG file so that we can upload it to our WordPress site. And to do that, you're just going to go to File, Save, and JPEG. It's already set, but just so you know, you can click on that and select JPEG. And we're going to do the quality to about 70. And what that's going to do is it's going to make the file size a little bit smaller. 70 is still a good quality for websites, and it's going to just make it faster to load. It's going to load a little faster, and people won't have to wait quite as long for your page to load. And they shouldn't have to wait long at all anyway, but if you get in the habit of doing this with every image, it really makes a difference in the long run. So click OK. And we're going to save it. It's going to ask you where on your computer you want to save it. We're going to save it in the quick website creation folder on our desktop. And we're going to call this header_final. And hit save. Okay, now that image is saved as a JPEG on our actual computer. Now I want to show you if you wanted to actually save this file so that you could go back and you could take off the architecture layer style, for example, right there, take off the drop shadow, or change the color of the urban decay, or change the color of the architecture, then you would want to save this as a Pixlr file so that you can open it up and have these different layers and the settings that you've already applied. You want to have those available, those options available. So you would save it, you would go to File, Save, and instead of format being JPEG, we would want to save it as a PXD, which is a layered Pixlr image. And then you can just name it whatever you want, and it will save it on your computer so that when you open it up, so that you will be able to open it up in Pixlr by going to Open Image, and you would be able to find it as a PXD and just click on it, and it would open just like this with layers. So we're going to do that just in case we want to make any changes. We're going to save it again. We've already saved it as a JPEG. We're going to save it as a Pixlr image. Header final. Let's save it as header final _ P. Let's just call it Pixlr. You can call it whatever you want, but it's going to hit OK, and it's going to save it in that same folder. And now we have that taken care of. So we're going to go back to our header area, and now we're going to upload the image that we saved to our desktop. So again, just to remind you, go to Appearance and then Header. And we're going to browse, and we're going to go to our folder on our desktop, quick website creation, and we have the header final.jpg that we saved. Double click on that and then select Upload. Alright, there it is right there. And what you want to do here is, because we saved it as a 960 pixels by 250 pixels, it is not going to make any additional changes here. If we would have saved it at a different dimension, the crop tool may have been different. And for now, we're just going to say skip cropping and publish image as is. And that's what I would recommend for doing when you take an image out of Pixlr. So we're going to select that. And now that is our header image. And we can click here or here to view our site now. And there you go. We have a header image. Okay, now one thing I want to point out here is that the header image is actually clickable. You can click on it and be taken to the home page of the site. And you can also click up here on the title of your site and also be taken to the home page. Now, to get this off, this text and this text, all you have to do is go back to your dashboard, go to Appearance, Header, and scroll down and just uncheck the box there. And save changes. Okay, go back and take a look. And now the first thing showing is our menu bar. And you can click here and it just, no matter which page you're on, this header image is going to be showing, and you can always click and get taken back to the home page. Okay, now let's create our About page. And to do that, we're going to grab another free image from Stock Exchange. Close out of these. And we're going to search for beginner. And this is the image here that I want to use, so click on that. And the standard restrictions apply. So we're just going to go ahead and download that. Right click, save image as. And I'm just going to call this beginner _ original. Save it. And if we go to our desktop, we saved it to our quickwebsitecreation.com folder, and there it is. Now, the image itself is actually this large, and it's a very large file size. We don't want that, as we discussed earlier, so we're going to go back to Pixlr. And we're going to resize it before we even upload it to WordPress. Open up the editor. And we're going to open that image from our computer. It's right there. And we're looking at it at 27%. And I want to make this image 300 pixels wide. And instead of cropping it, we're just going to resize it. And to do that, you're going to go to Image, Image Size, and keep the Constrain Proportions box checked there, so that it maintains the same ratio of width and height, and it'll do that automatically. And we're just going to say 300, and it's automatically going to know that the height needs to be 204 pixels to maintain this same ratio. And select OK. And it's actually a lot bigger than that because we're looking at it at only 27%. So double click on that and change that to 100. And that is the actual size of the image that we're going to upload to WordPress. So go ahead and File, Save, and we're going to call this beginner, let's call it edited. And we're going to drop this down to 70 quality. It's only going to be 15 kilobytes, which is great. Okay, and we're going to save it in the quickwebsitecreation.com folder. All right, let's go back to our dashboard. And to create the About page, you're going to go to Pages, Add New, and I've already got the text here. I'm going to copy that, paste it in there. Now the first thing I want to do is go ahead and add the image. Now to add an image with the visual editor, all you do is click on this Add Media tab there. And we're going to select the file because we want to upload it. And that's already automatically selected. So we're going to go to Select Files, click, and find the file on your hard drive. And there it is right there. Double click it. And over here, we're going to insert into Post. And actually, before that, we want to change the alignment to left so that we can put text to the right of that, and the text will automatically wrap around the image, so the image will show up to the far left, the text will show up to the right and beneath the image. And we want it to be full size. Could actually make that a little smaller if we wanted to there, but we're going to keep it as it is and insert into page. Okay, and now we're going to put a couple of paragraphs next to that. And to do that, we're going to go back and I'm just going to copy and paste this in one paragraph at a time. Then enter. And we're going to grab this and paste that in there. And then we're going to publish. All right, now let's take a look at our website. And I want you to notice that that page that we just created is not showing up on our menu. And that's because we haven't added it to the menu. It is created, but we don't have a way to access that. So to do that, go back to your dashboard. And we're going to go to Appearance, Menus, and the top navigation menu is the only menu we've created. So that's selected, and then we're going to go and we're going to check the page, the About page that we just created, and add to menu. Now if we save it, that menu item is going to be added, but it's going to have this really long title on the menu bar, which we don't want. So we're going to click there and change this to just say About this website, and we're going to take off the colon. And then we're going to save menu. And now if we go back to our site, you'll see that it's added there, and we can click. And now we have created our About this website page. And one thing I want to show you real quick is this right here. If we scroll down, you can see that it's got a spot to leave a reply, and we don't want that. That's typically, we're just going to want that for a blog, which we're not working on a blog right now. So for regular pages, we want to take that off. And to do that, you're just going to go to your dashboard, and we're going to go to All Pages, and we're going to click on our About page. And what you need to do is go to Screen Options, select Discussion, and then scroll down, and now you have the option to not allow comments and not allow trackbacks and pings. So we're going to uncheck both of those boxes, hit Update, and let's do the same. Go back to All Pages and select our home page. And we're going to do the same thing there. Uncheck both of those and update. And you can always go back and add those in if you wanted to. And now to make sure that the pages that we create in the future automatically don't have comments, you're just going to go to Settings and Discussion. And just simply uncheck allow people to post comments and uncheck the pingbacks and trackbacks, and then scroll down and save changes. Now we're going to install our first plugin, and plugins are a way that WordPress allows you to extend the functionality of a basic WordPress installation, and there are so many plugins available, thousands and thousands literally of free and premium plugins that can allow you to do basically anything with your WordPress site. And the first one we're going to work with is a photo gallery called the Next Gen Gallery. And to install that, we're just going to go to Plugins, Add New, and we're going to search for Next Gen, one word, Gallery. Click Search. And there it is at the top. And just for your information, you can click on Details to get a more detailed description of the plugin. You can see here it's been downloaded over 6.5 million times, and it's given 4 stars out of over 2,500 ratings, which is excellent. So we're going to go ahead and install by clicking Install Now, and OK. And it won't take long at all to install this, and once it's successfully installed, hit Activate Plugin. Alright, now I'm going to select 5 images from Stock Exchange, and I'm only going to show you the first one because the process is the same for the rest of them. We're going to choose an image, and then we're going to resize the images, just like we did with this one. It's going to be, all of these images are going to be in the Urban Decay category. And I'm going to start page 4. Okay, that's the one I want to start with. Go ahead and download it, and then right click, save image as, and make sure and maintain that .jpg ending. We're going to call this gallery original 1, and we're going to save. Go back to Pixlr and file, open image, and we're going to open it up. And I want this to be 900 pixels wide, quite a bit bigger than the beginner image we just worked with. And you can see here we're only looking at it at 16%, so it's actually, as you saw earlier, a lot bigger. So to resize it, go to image, image size, and we're going to change the width to 900, and it's automatically going to resize the height because we've checked that box. And then we're going to OK it, and just to demonstrate, change this to 100%. And you can see that the image is a good size right there. And I'm just going to file, save, and we're going to call this gallery edited 1. And we're going to change this to 70, and we're going to OK it, and we're going to save it in this folder. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing to 4 more images. I'm going to download them and make them 900 pixels wide, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, now I've got all my images resized and downloaded to my desktop. So what I'm going to do is, now that we've installed the Next-Gen Gallery plugin, we have this option here that says Gallery. Go ahead and scroll down to that, and we're going to add a gallery. And we're going to just call it Gallery 1. Select Add Gallery and click on that. And then we are going to choose the files that we want to upload. Hit Select Files there. And I'm going to select this one. These 5, because those are the ones I resized to 900 pixels wide. And open. And then we need to choose the gallery that we just created, Gallery 1, and we're going to click on Upload Images. And this will take a minute because it's actually going to put the images on, and also it's going to add a thumbnail for each image, which is pretty cool because we don't have to worry about resizing that. It does that automatically. And now it's created, and we're going to do one more thing before we add it into our gallery page. We're going to go to Options, and go ahead and go to Gallery, and we're going to uncheck Show as a slideshow there, and then we're going to save changes. Click there. Alright, and we're going to create our gallery page. Go to Pages, Add New. We're going to call this Gallery. And now notice we're still in the visual editor. We have a new box available here at the top. If we hover over it, it says Add Next-Gen Gallery. Go ahead and click on that, and it gives you the option to select which gallery you want to choose, and we've only created one, so click that arrow and select Gallery 1 and Insert. And that right there is called a shortcode, and basically it won't display in the editor, but when we look at this on our site, as long as the plugin is activated, which we did that as soon as we installed it, it will show on our site. So now we're going to publish the page. And remember, we need to add this to our menu. So we're going to go to Appearance, Menus, and we're going to check Gallery, Add to Menu, and Save Menu. Now if we take a look at our site, we now have the gallery showing up there. Click there, and there it is. And also notice that we don't have the comments because we disable that automatically by default. And when you click on one of these images, it will open up and you can go through them right there. And just press escape or click on the image to close it out. And you can click on any of these. It's really cool. Go back, forward, and just click to get out. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is add our contact page and a contact form, because WordPress by default does not come with a contact form. There's another great plugin that's available for free. We're just going to go back to our dashboard. We're going to go to Plugins, Add New, and this one is called Contact Form 7. So we're just going to search for that. And we're going to install now. And activate the plugin. Alright, now here on the left we have contact showing up. So click on that to create our first contact form. And as you can see there, it's already actually created one by default, and click on that and automatically you have a place for people to fill in their name, their email address, the subject of their message, and their message, and then it's got a submit button. And this, we haven't added this to a page yet. We'll do that in just a minute, but I just want to show the email that you used when you signed up, when you installed the WordPress onto your HostGator account. That's the email that these contact forms will be sent to by default. And to add this form to a page, you're just going to copy this text there. And we're going to create a contact page. So go to Pages, Add New. And we're going to call this Contact Me. And we are going to paste in what we just copied. And this is also a shortcode, and we're just doing it a different way. Instead of selecting a box, we're just manually copying and pasting the shortcode that it gave us. So we're going to publish the page, and we're going to add it to our menu, Appearance Menus, Contact Me, Add to Menu, Save Menu. Go back to your site, and now we have a Contact Me, and now we have our contact form. Now I'm just going to show you how this works. We'll fill it out. And we're going to submit it. This message was sent successfully, and we're going to open up my email, and now there we have a new contact form from Josh, and it's got the email address that I gave in, the subject that I put in, contact form test, and the message body, this is a contact form test. So that's great, we've got a working contact form now. And now I'm going to show you how to embed a YouTube video. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to our dashboard, and we're going to create the video page. Pages, Add New. This should be pretty routine by now. I'm just going to call it video, and I'm just going to copy a couple of sentences. And let's go ahead and publish. Add it to our menu. Save menu. And now go back to Pages, All Pages, and open up the video page so that it's ready for us to embed the YouTube code. And we're going to go close out of these. Open a new tab and go to YouTube. And we're going to just search for historic New York City. And we'll just pick the first thing that pops up. Just click on the video. Go ahead and pause and just scroll down to where it says share. Click share. And we want to embed it. So click embed. And it's already going to select this code here. And all you have to do is copy it. And we're going to go back to our dashboard. And we're going to change this to the text editor. And go to the bottom and just paste it in. And update. And now when we go back to our site, we'll have a video tab. And when you select video, we now have a working video. And you can play it on your site. Now, it added some space here, and let me show you how to get rid of that space. Just so you know, go back to your dashboard. Go back to the video page. And if we go back to the visual editor, you can click right there and just backspace. And then save it, update it. And now if we view the page, we got rid of the space. Now I want to show you real quick how to rearrange the order that these menu items show up in the navigation menu. It's real easy to do. Go back to your dashboard and under appearance menus, it really is as easy as dragging and dropping. Let's say we want the video page to appear after the about this website page. Move it there, and we'll move the gallery at the end. We could do it that way and just save the menu. And then if you go back to your site, now the video page is there. And also, if we wanted a drop-down menu, that's very easy to do. Just go back. And in the menu editor, let's say we wanted to be able to hover over about this website and then have video drop down underneath that and not be its own tab at the top. Just click video and drag it over just like that. And now when we hover over, we're going to save it. And then when we hover over about this website, we'll get the option to click on video. Just like that. Very easy to use. So for now, we're just going to go back and make video its own tab, and we'll keep it in that order. And just to be clear, when I was rearranging those, all you do is click and hold and then drag. Alright, so now let's talk about the sidebar and just go back to our website. Oh, it'll ask you that if you don't save it. Let's save it. And go back to our website. Alright, this area is called the sidebar. Okay, and by default it adds a search, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta information, which is your meta information is the login and logout, as you can see there. And obviously we don't want all that stuff, and we want to be able to put in whatever we want into the sidebar. So to do that, go back to your dashboard, and we're going to go to Appearance, and we're going to hit Widgets. Click on Widgets. And all these things that are currently in our sidebar are called widgets. All these are called widgets. And all we have to do to take these out, and notice that all the widgets that we have in here are in our main sidebar. And this particular theme has a widget area for the sidebar, and it also has a front page widget area on the left and a front page widget area on the right, which will appear beneath the content, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, let's go ahead and clear this sidebar out, and all we have to do is click and drag these back over. And this saves automatically when you do that. Now, if you had one that you just wanted to take off temporarily, and you might want to use it again later, you can click and hold and then drag it down here to the bottom under inactive widgets, and it would sit there. But for this one, we can always pull that one again from this list right there. So we're not going to worry about it. Now this saves automatically, so we're just going to go back to our website, and you'll notice that we no longer have a sidebar on our home page because there's nothing there, and these other pages, you can see that the sidebar is now blank. And for now, let's go ahead and add in a couple of widgets to the sidebar. So go back to Appearance, Widgets, and we are going to add a custom menu. And we've only created one menu, and that was the menu that we've called Top Navigation. So for now, we're just going to say that we want it to show those menu items at the top as they are now, and then we also want to show them on the sidebar so that people can easily see them there too. So we would select that and save. And then let's add a search widget, and we'll put that one underneath and save. You can give it a title. Both of these you can give a title if you wish. And you can also rearrange these by clicking and holding and dragging, but we'll just order it with the menu above the search. And then if you go back to your website, now you see the menu there, and these are the same things that we changed here. So if we made a change to this menu, because this is the same one, the changes would also be reflected in the sidebar. And they're also going to be in the same order. And you could always add an additional menu. If you had more pages, you could create a second menu and select that one as your custom menu right here. If you had another one available, it would be available here, and you could select it. The next thing we're going to do is install a really neat plugin that allows you to use the visual editor in your widget areas to add text and images. And we're just going to go to Plugins, Add New. And this one is called Black Studio Tiny MCE Widget. We're going to search for that. Okay, what did I do wrong? Black Studio. Let's just try that. Alright, there we go. Tiny MCE is one word. And we're going to install now and activate the plugin. Okay, now when we go back to Appearance Widgets, we have an available widget right there, the Black Studio Tiny MCE, and we are going to drag that over above our custom menu and our search widget on the main sidebar and let go of that. And now we can use this visual editor to add content to our sidebar or to other widget areas on our site. And let's close out of that. We're going to go back, and I want to grab an image, another image from Stock Exchange. And it's going to be in the Urban Decay category. Page 4. Right there. So we're just going to download it. That's not what I wanted. Click on it. Then it's going to download. Okay, once it downloads, we're going to save it, right click, save image as, and we're just going to call this sidebar image underscore original. And make sure and put the .jpg on the end of it. Save it, and we're going to go back to Pixlr. And we're going to open that image, and we're going to resize it and make it 500 pixels wide. And that's actually still going to be too big for our sidebar. But I'm going to show you how to resize it again in WordPress. Image size, constraint proportions, and we're going to say 500. Okay, and file, save, and we're going to call this one 500 and change the quality. Okay, and save. And we're going to go back to WordPress, and now we're going to type some text, and I want this to say I'm going to copy that, paste it in there. About this site, click here, and I'm going to make this bigger by highlighting it, and where it says paragraph, click, and we're going to make this a heading 1, an H1 tag. And then I want click here to actually be clickable, so that when you click on that, it's going to take you to the about page of our site. So go ahead and highlight that. And then this button right here is the link button. Select that, and it's going to ask you for the destination URL, which is the web address for the page you want that to take you to. And to find that, we're going to go back to our site. Just type it in. And we want it to be this page here, so click there. And then we're going to copy our URL. Go back. And after HTTP, we're going to paste it in. And the title, we can just say about this website. Add link. And now enter, and we're going to add that image, add media. And we're going to upload the image. And it's going to be the sidebar 500. Okay. Now remember I said this image is still going to be too big. We're going to make it 300 pixels wide, and I just want to demonstrate how to do this in WordPress. So to do that, we would have the image selected. Over here there'll be a checkbox, and edit image, and it's going to open a new tab, and here it says we can scale the image. Click that, and we're going to make it 300. And when it scales it, WordPress is going to constrain the proportions automatically. And click scale, and click update. Alright, now that's saved, so we can exit out of this image editor, and we're back in our widget area. And now if you select refresh our image editor for that widget, now if you refresh this here, you can see it changes from 500 pixels wide to 300 pixels wide because we made that change with the editor. We're going to scroll down, align it left, and here where it says link to, we don't want this to be a link, so we're just going to say none. And then we're going to insert into post, and that will adjust when we insert it right there. And then we scroll down, and we're going to save it. Okay, and if we go back to our website and we refresh the page, there we have our image and our clickable. Oh, did not do that right. There's not a colon there. Not a problem, very easy to fix. We're going to go back, and we're going to highlight this again and select the link And oh, that's what it did, it added it twice. Go back and take off. It just needs to be http:// We're going to update that, save it, and we're going to refresh this page again. Now when we click there, it will take us to our About page. Now if we wanted this picture to actually take us to the same About page, we could do that easily by going here and clicking on the image. And this is the little box that allows you to edit the image. Click there. And the link URL, we could just paste in that same web address. And make sure it's got the colon, yep, and then update and save. And now before we refresh, it won't, this is not clickable, but when we refresh, now it is clickable. And it will just take you back to the same page. And real quick, I want to show you how to get rid of this space that was added. It's real easy to do. We're just going to go back and click on our widget area. And we're in the visual editor. And go ahead and switch to the HTML or the text editor. And we just need to delete this right here that was just added in. Go ahead and delete that and then save. You don't have to worry about what that means. And now if we go back and refresh this page, that space will disappear. Okay, now I want to add the front page template to our home page so that we have a different layout for the home page. We're going to remove the sidebar, and with the front page template, we're going to have a larger image here, and it's going to be this same image but only larger, and then we're going to have two widget areas, one here and one here, which we're going to use to add icons and a paragraph to. So to do that, let's go back to our dashboard and go back to Pages, All Pages, and we're going to click on our home page. And we're going to change default template to front page template. And go ahead and update that. And go back to the site. And you'll see now that it doesn't look any different except for it's removed the sidebar. But what we want to do is add in that same image we have on our sidebar, just bigger, and then we want to utilize the two front page widget areas. So to do that, we're going to go back to edit this page, and another quick way to get back to that page is to click right there. Saves a step. And we're going to add the featured image. We're going to set featured image. And since we uploaded this already and resized it with WordPress, you can see there it's only 300 pixels wide. We're going to add a new file. So click Upload Files, select Files, and we're going to put that in there again. And then click on the one we just uploaded. That one was selected automatically for some reason just now. That one's still at 300. That's the one we had earlier. Click on this one and you'll see it's 500 pixels wide. And we're going to set featured image. And we're going to update the page. And then go to View Page. And now we have our large image there. And this is our home page. The next thing we're going to do is add the icons in the widget area that's going to be here, and then the widget area that's going to be here. So let's go back and take a look at where those are going to be. Go back to your dashboard, and we're going to go to Appearance, Widgets. And like I said earlier, this particular theme, the 2012 theme, has a sidebar widget area and then a first front page widget area, which is on the left underneath the content, and a second front page widget area. So what we're going to do is just use the Black Studio plugin on both of these. And first we need to get our icons. So for that, let's go to iconfinder.com, and we're going to go down to free icons. And scroll down a little bit. And I'm going to use the camera and the contact, or the notebook icon there. So click on that. It says free for commercial use. And then we're just going to download these. Start with this one, click it, download in PNG. That's the file format we want to use. And actually, instead of that, let's just click on it and save it. We'll right click, save image as. We'll call this notebook_icon. All right, and then we'll go back and we'll click on the camera icon. We're gonna save image as camera.png, camera_icon.png. Go back to our widget area, and we're going to drag in Black Studio widget for the first one. And I'm going to call this Contact Me. I'm just going to put that here. And I want this to be big, so I'm going to make it a heading 1. And I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to push enter. And I'm going to add media. And I'm going to upload one of the icons we just downloaded. I'm going to upload the notebook icon. And I'm going to scroll down here, and I want it to align left. I don't want it to be a link. And you can always change that. You could always do a custom URL and just copy and paste the URL in if you wanted to. But we're just going to say none. And we want it to be full size, so we're going to insert it into post. And then, for whatever reason, this is showing the blinking typing indicator right there, but when you start typing, it adds it where it's supposed to be. So type out something, even if it's just one character, and I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to open up what I've already got and copy, and then I'm going to go back and paste right there, and then I'm going to save. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the photo gallery. I'm going to drag Black Studio widget in for the second front page widget area. And this is going to be photo gallery. I'm going to make that a heading 1. I'm going to center it and push enter. We're going to add media, upload files, select files, and we're going to click on the camera icon there. And we're going to do the same thing, align left, no link, full sized, insert into post, type our character, highlight our character, and I'm just going to use the same text. Paste that in there. And then we're going to save that. And let's see. I want click here to be a link to the photo gallery. So I'm going to highlight that. Click on link, and I'm going to go back here. Let's go back to our website. Click on the gallery, and we're just going to copy that, go back to our widget, and we're going to paste it in. right there, and add link, and save. And we're going to do the same thing for our contact form, so we can hit that arrow there to minimize that, scroll up to our first front page widget area, highlight, click here, click on link, and we're going to go copy and paste this. Go back and paste that in and add link. And it's a good thing generally to give it a title, but it will work just fine without it. And we're going to save. And then we're going to minimize this. And if we go back to our home page now, you will see that we have these two widget areas underneath our content. And if you click here, for example, it's going to take you to the contact form. And if we go back, or if we go home, we can click this, remember. That takes us home as well, and we can scroll down, and this will take us to our photo gallery. Alright, that sums it up. Don't forget to stay tuned for more at WPSculptor.com. Thanks.